lovely people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the country you are listening to me from. We always take the day or night for granted because it is there and has never failed any of us in our various countries. This is not the work of any government, celebrity, politician, rich person in the community, or whom you know that does this, but the work of an invisible force or formless substance in you. It is the power that moves the world, guides the planets in their course, and causes the sun to shine on us every morning. Please be aware and be reminded of this truth. The power that moves the world, guides the planets in their course, and causes the sun to shine on us every morning. Please be aware and be reminded of this truth. I have an activity for you, and the activity is that we are just going to smile and smile and smile and let the smile turn into laughter. Smile, 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 and let it turn into laughter. I'm doing mine here, so do it wherever you are. Just smile, 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 and let it turn into laughter. We have less than 1 minute to do this. I love smiling a lot. Laughter expands and frowning contracts. Some people, they are just unapproachable. The way they frown their face, you can't even approach them. You must listen to your intuition to see those you connect with and those you don't connect with. Some people, that is why I always say we are more than flesh and blood. We are more than flesh and blood. Some people, you connect so easily with them. You talk as if you've known each other for a very long time. Others too, you don't even know what you've done to them, but they just don't like you. In such instance, such people, you don't please them. You let them be. We are more than the human flesh. We are more than flesh and blood. So just let those people be. Great peace, great joy fills and overshadows me. Great peace, great joy fills and overshadows me. It is not always a joy but an honor to serve my people, sons and daughters of Africa and humanity at large. You will agree with me when I say this is the day or night that the Lord has made, depending on the country you are listening to me from. This is the day or night that the Lord has made, depending on the country you are listening to me from. We have every reason to rejoice and be glad in it, no matter what we are going through, because our light afflictions is but for a moment. So whatever you are going through, you can withstand it, you can withhold it. So you have every reason to be glad, because whatever you are going through, it doesn't come to stay. It doesn't come to hurt you. It doesn't come to punish you. It has come for you to learn so you can overcome it. Please get it right. So our light affliction is but for a moment. So we have every reason to rejoice and be glad in the day or in the night. I continue to heal the world from negativity and all sorts. I radiate peace, love, and light to all. It is Tuesday, July 26, 2022, in my world in Ontario, Canada. My world is always full of joyous activities, unbroken progress, and great expectancy. I create my own realities. All of it, not some of it. All of it. I create my own realities. All of it. I live my life from within to the without. I'm in the world, but I'm not of the world at all. I work with my intuitions. That is the still small voice of God only. I'm a lady of gratitude. That's let the whole world join me to say thank you, Father. Thank you, infinite intelligence in the universe. Finally, the enlightenment, truth, and light has reached my beloved continent, Africa. I love my people. I love them dearly. Africa is no longer a dark continent. We found the truth and we are practicing the truth in every nook and corner of our lives. I see it in my imagination all the time, and I'm very much aware. If I can see it in my mind, I can definitely hold it in my hands. I'm very much aware that if I can see it in my mind, I can definitely hold it in my hands. It's just so wonderful, amazing, and beautiful. My dearly beloved, let us imagine in our minds that we are friends sitting in a garden, maybe the Garden of Eden, perhaps, admiring God's beauty and nature, as God works through me to talk to you and the world on the topic. I love beauty. It ignites the light in me. You have your own self to blame if you didn't take lessons from today's topic. So the topic for today is the universal law of cause and effect. The universal law of cause and effect. This law says that nothing happens by chance, luck, coincidence, or outside universal laws. Nothing happens by chance, luck, or coincidence, or outside the universal laws. You reap what you sow. Maybe that will resonate with Africans. Thinking about it, the law of cause and effect. Majority of Africans, I'm very much aware they are not aware of this law. So please pay attention to what I say. And anything you didn't understand, you can email me or ask the ascended masters. They are willing to show you. This law states that nothing happens by chance, luck, or coincidence, or outside universal laws. You reap what you sow. We were taught that we will reap it on the last day. No, it is not true at all. You reap it sooner than you think. Many people in our world today respond to events around them and never take time to determine what is important to them. These people experience the law of cause and effect without realizing that they have the ability to influence the effects of the law in their lives. When creditors are calling you on, they are calling on you every day, texting you every day. They are merely secondary causes, result of the conditions and circumstances. You must go to the first cause, which lies in your thought process, thinking patterns. First cause, supply, and say something simple like this: God is my source and my supplier. And once you say that, God gives you the money to pay these creditors. I learned that from a regular. I used it and it worked for me. You can use it too. You must go back to the first cause, which lies in your thought pattern. First cause, the supply. Don't work with secondary causes at all. That is the effect of conditions and circumstances. So once you deal with the cause, there's no effects to worry about. So it is essential that you take charge of your thoughts to bring desirable conditions. Desirable conditions. When you think correctly, when you understand the truth, when thoughts deposit in your subconscious mind are harmonious, constructive, and positive, the working wonders of your subconscious mind will bring about harmonious conditions and agreeable surroundings, and best of everything, your subconscious mind becomes active in your dying moment to solve all complicated problems. Your subconscious mind loves to solve complicated problems. Otherwise, he sleeps and dozes off in you as if he's not there. Now, I'm using here out of respect and reverence, but not that God is a noble human being. Not that the subconscious mind is a noble human being. Understand it. And my friend taught me that once you begin to control your thought processes, you can apply the power of the subconscious mind to solve all problems. You will actually be cooperating with the infinite power and omnipotent law that governs all things. Everything is an ecosystem which comes back to you. The law of karma comes to mind here. Most people say everything happens for a reason. It is this law which is the truth. It is this law which is true. Most people say everything happens for a reason, and you can find this in it is the law of cause and effect that you find this statement, and it is true. There's no such things as chance, luck, coincidence. Look around you, whether you are in the diaspora or on the continent, and you realize that majority of people live in the world without. It is the enlightened ones, a few ones, who are more interested in the world within. It is the world within that creates the world without, as within, so without. The world within is your creative power, and in fact, it's your only creative power. Everything you see in your outer world has been created by your inner world of your mind, whether consciously or not. If you want to change external conditions, you must change the cause, the first cause. That is how you are using your mind. Most people try to change conditions and circumstances by working with conditions and circumstances. This is a terrible waste of time and effort, and it's a matter of ignorance to do that. They fail to see that conditions and circumstances flow from a cause. It's a result of a secondary cause. So work with the first cause, the cause. So to remove discord, discomfort, delay, lack, scarcity, and all sort of negativity from your life, deal with the cause. That is the way you are using your mind, your conscious mind. Change the cause and change the effect. It is simple. It is that simple, my beloved. You either know this truth or you don't. Accept it or not. Believe it or not. Aware of it or not. In fact, to know and understand this truth is to know that the world is to know how the world runs and how to live intelligently. So every thought is a cause and every condition is an effect. Change your thoughts and change your destiny. This is so, and it is the truth. When we assume control over our thoughts and actions, we have moved from mastery and ability to live within the laws in a positive way. A common problem which leads to negative effects is living within unrealistic fears, anger, bitterness, resentment, unforgiveness, worry, stress, and roots related. These are negative emotions that people experience, but if left unattended, they consume our minds. The books we read, the friends we make, and the kind of things we watch on TV and social media with emotions attract in our lives the event that comes into our lives. These mental and emotional states would generate the consequences by drawing event to a person that continue to perpetuate these experiences. This is so, and it is the truth. This is so, and it is the truth. Scripture says, "You shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free." So, a typical example is what is happening in our world today between the police force and a black men encounter, especially in the US. Both parties don't know the problem is built from within them. Hence, they demonstrate their automatic reactions all the time, and they demonstrate it unconsciously. Thus, all parties involved deals with the surface, but not the root cause of the problem. Likewise, like cutting a tree by the branches and not the roots. My people, my black man or woman listening to me in the US or in the diaspora, especially, for how long are we going to depend on the system to change things for us? For how long are we going to do that? This is the burden on my custom-made husband and spiritual partner, Emmanuel Mensah, and myself. It has been a burden on our shoulders. We can't continue to do one thing and think we'll get the results we are looking for. Somebody has to die for his people. And that is what we did. For the love that we have for you. The universe has heard the cries, the pain of our people, of the black people. And somebody has to learn it to teach his or her people. And that is what my husband and I went on a spiritual journey to discover. So in real life, if you know that a person or group of people can do you this or that, what do? You have to protect yourself. You have to shield yourself. But that is not what I see at all. That is not what my husband and I see at all. Rather, we demonstrate on the street or laugh pulling out a self-pity card. I'm not saying those things are wrong, but it's a choice we have to make. For a very long time, we've done those things. And what are those things yielded us? Do we want the problem to go away, or we want to keep dancing around the issue? It was very important for us to search and figure out the truth in our excruciating pain of homelessness and our three jewels being taken into foster care in the midst of the COVID pandemic to bring a positive and a drastic change to our people and humanity at large. As I always emphasize, we were prepared to die for our people in search of the truth. We went through so much. We went through so much. but we're not going to give up at all. Our minds were made up. We didn't die. We didn't die. But we made victorious, courageous, strong, and built character, integrity, and all that. My custom-made husband and spiritual partner, Ikelemano Mensa, and I fought the battle mentally, not physically. The battle is of the mind, but not of the physical at all. Mind is the master, and mind rule the world. And we borrowed the words of Winston Churchill, right? When we went on our spiritual journey, we said, we shall defend our islands, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight on the fields. We shall fight. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender. But this one not physically, mentally. We knew nothing can and nothing will set us free, set you free. For the love that we have for you, especially. We knew nothing will set us free except the truth. And scripture says the same thing. Ye shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Someone had to die for our people to discover the truth, and that is what we did. The truth is, the change we are looking for should come from us, not others. Change begins from within or oneself. This is the higher truth of life. You know it or you don't know. And I love what the British philosopher said, James Allen. Please go and buy all his collection. I bought it. Even when I was homeless, I bought it and I read it. And it changed my perspective of life. If you haven't bought it, go and buy all his books and read it. And it will change your perspective of life. And nobody can take what belongs to you at all. He said, men do not attract what they want, but who they are, who you are inside. Because nobody does your thinking for you. Nobody does your breathing. Think about it. They can only comment on your mental, internal state. And that is what people have done all this while. He said, men do not attract what they want, but who they are, who you are inside. He also said, a soul attracts that which it harbors, loves and fears, and circumstances are by means which the soul receives its own. My dear, my dearly beloved listening to me, my black man, my black woman listening to me, I don't think the police authorities tell the policemen to shoot our men in the US especially. I don't think so. My husband doesn't think so. My custom-made husband and spiritual partner, Igelemano Mensa, he doesn't also think so. We never think like that, and I've never talked like that. And as I said in my other topic, it's a world's problem, not a racial problem. It's a world's problem, not a racial problem. We see all parties demonstrating their automatic reactions all the time, unconsciously. What is within them comes out spontaneously. This is where the problem is, and that is where it should be tackled from, the root cause. Everything is an inside job. Every enlightened person will not fail to tell you that unless he is deceiving you. But everything is an inside job. And many don't have understanding of this at all. Humanity, the police force, and our people are not aware that all that they are going through is built from within them. And that's our people, police force, and humanity continue to engage in what is termed fighting against circumstances, swatting at life, or quarreling with the world. As I always emphasize, it is not about how we think things should be, or how we want things to be, or perceive things to be. No, it's purely about how things are done, or how things work in the universe. Therefore, come in alignment, come in sync, come in tune, and save yourself. The black man or woman has to come to terms with this truth, to learn how things are done to save him or herself. As I said, the Christ of many have hate the universe, and this is what the universe has for us. We take it or we leave it. What do we do, my people? Again, the books we read, the movies we watch, the friends we make, etc., determines the kind of events that comes into our lives. You attract all these things into your life. Your emotions or feelings match the frequency of the event, and since we are all energy, you attract these circumstances into your life. That is why you are greatly encouraged to focus, talk, dwell, contemplate on things that will build, inspire, and strengthen you. And scripture says the same thing. In Philippians 4:8, it says, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. Think on these things. Thought are things. Thought are things, my lovely brother or sister. So what you focus on gets bigger or expands, and you bring it to pass in your life. You create your own realities. It could be positive or negative. Up until now, it has been negative for Africans and majority because they don't know how they operate on the subconscious, on the conscious and subconscious mind play, and it's a problem. Since we are all energy, you attract circumstances, events, and people into your life based on the frequency you operate on. Every enlightened person will not fail to tell you this. Nothing in our lives is by chance, luck, or coincidence, but by the law of cause and effect, based on the vibrational frequencies we operate on. We are vibrational beings, as we are all energy beings or vibrational beings. Yeah, you can say energy beings or vibrational beings. It's all correct. All is all. All is thought. All is law and order in the universe. You go out and see everything. Look at nature. All is all. All is thought. All is law and order in the universe. This truth, the police office, especially in the US, and our people, I get to awaken too. We to we've been doing all that we've been doing this while is dancing around the issue. So the situation dies down and resurfaces because the root of the problem wasn't solved. The policemen and our people have to open up to universal laws and principles this way and no other way. There's an urgent need for healing and forgiveness, both on the continent and in the diaspora, for the black man or woman to forgive the past and reprogram his or her subconscious mind to godly, constructive, and positive thinking in order to be all that he or she was created or born to be, to take his or rightful place in the world. This way and no other way. Spiritual matters are solved spiritually, not physically. Again, the universe has heard the cries of many, and we are using the truth to save ourselves. That's it. No other way. We have to do that first. We have to heal first. And when we do, oh, God shall wipe away all the pain, all the suffering, both on the continent and in the diaspora. Look, I've got people saying this thing. When we do that, God shall wipe away all the pain, all the suffering, both on the continent and in the diaspora. We have to take the initiative first. But God doesn't depend on us. We do. He doesn't rely on us. We do. Please get it right. Sometimes when I hear people talk, I'm like, what are they saying? It's as if upon all that God has done for us, it's as if people want God to do something else again. He won't do anything. Moreover, he gave us his only begotten son. What else do we want again? We have to take the initiative. We have to make the effort. We have to do something. Then God will bless it. All things are ready for us. If our mind be so, it's your job to tap in. It's your job to tap in. But sometimes when I hear people talk, it's as if people want God to do something. So in Africa, we were taught to build castles in the air. But this time, you have to build the castles with a purpose. Take an initiative. That is why a lot of people say your thought, your words, your actions, your emotions should be in one direction. But many people don't take the action. They want God to. God will not do anything. You have to take the initiative and let it be in alignment of what you want. If you want to live correctly by living in God's opulence or abundance, have joy in your soul, and perfect peace of God that passes all understanding. Then you have to understand how things are done or how things work in the universe to come in alignment to set yourself free. This way and no other way, my people. This way and no other way. Again, look around you and you realize that the world we live in is full of people without. It is only few people who are enlightened, who are interested in the world within. It is the world within that is the only creative power. That is, life is built from within to the without through your thought processes, mental imageries, and thinking patterns. Get it right. As within, so without. As above, so below. As in heaven, so on earth. It is a metaphysical truth and saying, and a lot of people say, like attracts like. This could be positive or negative. God is principle. That is why there are universal laws to keep the universe in check. Universal laws and principles are extensions of the same laws we have in our schools and organizations to keep everyone in check and keep the law in order. So don't let it scare you. Thus, if you break the law at school, the school authorities have every right to suspend you. The truth is, the individual or the student punishes him or herself by breaking the law. Thus, the cause is the student who broke the law, and the authorities are just the effect. Get it right. So, if the individual or the student doesn't break the law, the school authorities have no right to suspend him or her. Thus, if you don't want trouble, you don't break the law, you don't break the rules. That's it. That's how universal law and principles works. That is why James Allen again, he says, the universe is supremely just and give unto everyone his or rightful earnings. The law of action and reaction. Action and reaction is real. You reap what you sow. That is how the universal law of cause and effect and other universal laws works. It doesn't discriminate or play human favorites at all. The subconscious mind works in a positive way or negative way based on your thinking patterns, mental images, or thought processes. So if you say anything negative to yourself, God affirms it for you. Likewise, if you say something positive to yourself, God affirms it for you too. That God says yes to everyone. Just like the analogy of the server. If you go to the restaurant and you ask them that you want rice, you expect them to bring you rice. You don't expect them to bring you pasta. If per adventure they make a mistake and bring you something else, depending on your subconscious mind conditioning and temperament, somebody will have a fight with them. So day in and day out, that is your order from the universe by what you think. So knowing how your mind works on the conscious and subconscious plane, it makes it easy to understand universal laws and principles because you're able to understand yourself very well. And that is how you understand universal laws and principles. So you are in the center seat driving every affair of your life based on what you think. You direct this power to do for you either positive or negative things. That's it. You direct this power to do for you either positive or negative things. That's learn to think in one direction and dwell on positive thoughts. That is why we say you create your own realities. All of it, but not some of it at all. And it could be either negative or positive. And I read to you Philippians 4:8. So if you want to be on that right path, read it every morning. That's when you understand this truth, you begin to take responsibilities and accountabilities for your actions, behaviors, and everything you do. And you trace everything to yourself. You don't react to things. The greatest gift God gave to us is that we have power over our thoughts. And that makes us, and we have the freedom of choice. And that makes us different from animals. That is why the Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he. So as you think your dominant thoughts, that is what you are. You are what you think about all day long. Ralph Waldo Emerson, he said that. So you either know this truth or you don't. Aware of it or you are not aware. Accept it or you don't accept it. Believe it or not. But when you know this truth, you don't think of evil spirit because you realize that there's no one that can hurt you except you give your power away. Up until now, many Africans are giving their powers away so easily, cheaply, and foolishly. Due to this lack of understanding, the African has been disempowered for a very long time. It is now time to give power to every African who is interested. We are not forcing it on people. No, those who are ready, and show them that power is not in other things like charms, amulet, rings under the bed, bag, chair, and all that. Real power is from within. As within, so without. As in heaven, so on earth. As above, so below. That's it. And I'm very happy that children are even understanding what I'm saying. And I like it because when you want to make a change, you don't use adults, you use children. And when they get it, oh my God, it's just wonderful. Again, this law says that nothing happens in our lives by chance, luck, coincidence, or outside universal laws. Nothing of whatsoever escapes this law. All is divine order. So to say that coincidence exists is to say events that have happened to us could happen outside universal mind and order. This cannot be, and this cannot happen. We are the microcosm, and God is the macrocosm. Get it right. We are all energy in a larger field of energy. And for you to try to step out, it cannot simply happen. This is because all humanity carries his very breath in them, and we are all in his presence. We all breathe from the same source. If you can tell me you breathe from a different source, then I'll believe you. But we all breathe from the same source. So it cannot happen. This is a higher truth I'm giving you. It's about time humanity, especially Africans, wake up to the fact that all is universal mind, all is order, all is law and thought in the universe. For centuries and up until now, humanity is very quick to point fingers at others and have filled their minds with all sorts of hate, fear, jealousy, resentment, bitterness, and all that because they believe others are responsible for their woes. African believes that they are victims of fate, chance, and accidents, and all sorts. They completely believe that they completely believe that there are some powers out there and forces that are makeable to their progress in life. Their minds are filled with all sorts of weird ideas, ignorance, superstitious beliefs, and complicated philosophies about some powers that be. As Africans, we were taught that, and are still being taught, that all unfortunate things that happen to us and are still happening to us is the work of demons, evil spirits, and some powers that be. When things are not going well in your life, instead of one to sit down, God has given you a mind to think and you to think. Instead of us to question ourselves and fix it from our end, we are very quick to suspect our family members, friends, and others as the cause of all our woes. While others are taught that failures, frustrations, challenges, and difficulties are opportunities, Africans see the work of, or see these people, see our frustrations as the work of some powers that be. And we want to compare ourselves. It's incomparable, my dear. Just go and sleep. It is incomparable. We cannot compare unless we change our mindsets. To the African, either there's an enemy attacking him or her, he or she is stuck in life, therefore act clueless all the time, except asking for help, or a jinx is following him or her. However educated the person is, that is his belief. The African runs to church all the time or any religious group with one aim and with one motive: to pray, to bind, to castigate, to lambast, and come against all those who are attacking him or her with the blood of Jesus. That's all they do. So the question I have asked Africans to wake up to that since time immemorial, that we have prayed against all these evil forces and demons, are they going away or increasing? If these evil powers have power to do something great, why can't they turn the poverty on the continent to riches? Why can't they turn the filthy gutters and and the filth everywhere into beauty? I've never believed in these things growing up when I was an African child. I observed a lot, But then I had a big mouth too. So I didn't shut my mouth and I got into trouble. But I never believed in any of these things. And when you question, they say you're a bad girl. Bad girl for what? Thoughts are things and thoughts are creative. What we focus on gets bigger or expands, and we'll surely experience it in our lives. My dearly beloved, I urge you to realize that there's no enemy anywhere except the ones you create for yourself. There's only one power on earth, which is God's power. It is up to each one of us to use this power either positively or negatively. Isaiah 45, verse 7. What does it say? It says, I form the light and create darkness. I bring prosperity and create disaster. I, the Lord, the Lord, do all these things. Every enlightened person knows there's no such thing as luck, coincidence, or chance. Therefore, learn how to take responsibility and accountability for your actions and immediately fix it when something is wrong at your end. It hits me to my core and spine that when people are very far away from this truth, but there's great hope as few are getting it now. They are getting the message. They are getting the message. And that we reap what we sow. We reap what we sow. It's law of cause and effect. We were taught we will reap it on the last day, on the judgment day. But that is not true at all. And I urge you to erase, delete that from your mind. You reap it sooner than you think. I encourage and urge you to understand God has no rival, competitor, or an adversary to compete with. Whatever God is, the devil is not. I've talked about this topic before. To be continually focusing on any power that has no bearings with God create a huge contradiction in your mind, and you basically stand still in life. You go nowhere. And that is what Africans are missing greatly, unfortunately, despite our religiosity to the core. The truth Africans have to wake up to sooner or later is that to every effect, there is a cause. Another simple way of understanding the law is, again, you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. So if the number is 200 and you make it 2 and something happens, it's you. If the number is 400 and you make it 40 or 4 because nobody is there, you reap what you sow. Again, we were taught we'll reap it on the judgment day. No, we will reap it sooner than you think. So when Africans are daily bombarding their perceived people as evil spirit, demons, and all sorts, it clearly shows you that people are living in darkness. They don't understand it. My dearly lovely one, I urge you to search out the law of cause and effect on the internet, and you find so many audios and videos to confirm this education yourself. When you confirm this truth, I urge you to begin to be a change agent in your community and be a way shower to our people. The truth is, all the events that have happened to us in our lives, either good or bad, was brought to us by the law of cause and effect. God is the cause of all things. His real nature is not only good, but very good. Please understand it. Humanity, we have created over God's masterpiece and suffering for it every day. Growing up, I used to wonder why will a good, loving, and merciful Father cause all the earthquakes, the thunder, lightning, accidents, chaos, frustration, and all sorts in the world. I used to ask this question a lot, but I didn't get the answers I was looking for. I was answered, but I wasn't satisfied with the answer. As I dug deep and deep and deep in search of the answers to these questions, I have found the answer in the understanding of the universal law of cause and effect. Now I know, and I want you to know as well, that it is the collective subconscious mind of the people and mental images of the people or the citizens that create all these unfortunate situations in our world. So when people are full of fear, worries, anxiety, stress, and all kinds of negative emotions, it sends out negative energy in the universe, and it attracts all these unfortunate situations in our community, societies, nation, and world at large. My mentor, Emmett Fox, taught me that, and I bless him, and I salute him in the other world. So when unfortunate incidents and events happen, it means humanity has chosen to use God's power in a negative way. It has nothing to do with God. I urge you to get that right. God, good, can only cause good things. The same fountain cannot produce both sweet and bitter water. The law of cause and effect deals with so much events that happens to us. Every thought that we think, feel, and act goes into the universe and creates our realities in life. There are no maybes here. This is so, and it is the truth. That is why it is very important that as individuals or groups, we only focus on what we want, and what we don't want, we focus on what we want, and what we don't want will begin to fade away. It is simple. It simply doesn't make sense to feed or focus on things we don't want with negative emotions and energy. We just have to train our minds and focus and talk on things only, or on only what we want in life. When humanity acts and behaves right towards one another, we advance the cause of God or Allah. Wrong actions, we advance the cause of God. Wrong actions or behavior is an act that goes against God. Therefore, when we assume control over our thoughts and actions, we move towards mastery in our spiritual growth, and we attract good things to us effortlessly. Negative emotions of fear, worry, anger, stress, and all that draws negative events to us. The law of cause and effect is very complicated on the surface, yet very simple within the laws of the universe. The law says that every cause has an effect, and every effect has its origin in the cause. It's very difficult to discern the cause when one is going through so much in life or has to learn from this experience. That is why I've made it very simple. Nothing in our lives is by chance, luck, coincidence, but by the law of cause and effect. Based on our vibrational frequencies, we are energy beings. Children even understand what I'm saying. We are looking for others to do the change. My people, we are looking for others to do the change for us, but we have to be the change agents or our own rescue. This way and no other way. This truth has to be drummed in the ear of every African, both on the diaspora and on the continent, for them to see we've created such a mess and we continue to create a mess. All that many are, the pain we are going through is self-inflicted and out of ignorance. Yet again, the pains of many have reached the cry of the universe. And God has chosen us to be a way shower to our own people. So we die for our people. Even in extreme circumstances, everybody would have walked away. We never walked away. We knew that if the black man or woman put something as thinking, all will be well. And all is well. Nothing escapes this law. All is divine law and order in the universe. There's nothing such as chance, luck, or coincidence. To say coincidence exists is to say that event designated could exist outside universal mind and order. This cannot be. All is law. All is law. We are responsible for creating our own reality. For every action produces a reaction. For every action produces a reaction. The law of cause and effect relates to our freedom of choice. In the midst of all frustration, confusion, chaos, stressful situation, it is important to remember that all that is created through perfect cycles is all created through perfect cycles of energy. This is because everything moves in a circular fashion. This tells you that every one of us creates his or her own realities in life through our thoughts, emotions, or feelings, words, and actions. The huge difference between the average individual and the one that has mastered universal law of cause and effect is that the average individual lives their lives as if they are constantly being tossed like a boat on stormy waters, whilst the master always live a life of dominion and victory all the time. Subconsciously, this is the state the ordinary individual wants to be, but they are not able to because the heart and minds of these ordinary individuals are not strong enough to assume responsibility and responsibility and accountability to create their own realities of life. The law of cause and effect makes us understand that everything that happens to us in our lives is for a reason. There's no such thing as chance, luck, or coincidence. What you don't When you don't understand this law, you become like a puppet. Any wind blows you in any direction it likes. You are always at the mercy of people. You constantly feel that it is because of someone's or other people's action. That is why you are not progressing in life. Or some powers that be, or some powers that be would thwart all your efforts in your life. So for you, there's no need to even try. You are an unachiever, just adding to numbers, occupying space, or energy sucker. For centuries and up to now, the whole African continent is brainwashed to believe that it is some evil powers that control their lives. Even the educated one believes in that. The unfortunate aspect is that there are men and women of God very busy. They are very busy in giving this message of disempowerment and falsehood and causing division among family members, friends, and people in the communities and nations at large. Albert Einstein said it is insanity to do one thing over and over with the same approach and expect different results. It's time now to flip the coin, to learn about universal law of cause and effect, to realize that we are the cause of whatever good or bad events that have happened to us in our lives. There's only one power in this world. It's absolutely your choice to use this power either for good or bad. Therefore, if you don't like what you're experiencing right now in your life, you hold the key to be your own savior, redeemer, and rescue. Once the cause is dealt with in your mind, the effect will be amazing, pleasing, and wonderful. Again, Isaiah 45:7, it says, I form the light and create the darkness. I bring prosperity and create disaster. I, the Lord, I do all these things. And I love what this man also puts it. His name is Dr. Frank Crane, an American Presbyterian. I love how he puts it. He says, most of our happiness, as well as our struggles and misery, come from the man inside. If we train him in ways of contentment, adjustment, and decisions, he'll go ahead of us like a well trained servant and do for us easily most of the difficult tasks we have to perform. Dr. Frank Quinn, an American Presbyterian minister, said that. And please Google the time he said that. And up until now, the African doesn't know this. And we want to compare ourselves. It is incomparable, my dear. Let us change our mindset. Let us learn everything, throw away all that we know, and learn it from the scratch. Then we'll become wonderful and beautiful. But now, no. In the same way, let us look at Dr. Wingibigila. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce the name well, but yeah. He also made the observation about the power of the subconscious mind. It says, it is in short the most powerful force in life, and when properly directed, the most beneficent. But like it's also like an electric wire. Its destructive forces is equally great. It can either be your servant or your master. It can bring you evil or good. Can you imagine? And so I took this from Robert Collier's book, Secret of Ages. There are so many of them, so many of them, so many of them. And up until now that I'm talking to you, Africans believe that somebody is the cause. No, my people, let us get it right. This is what the Africans are missing greatly, despite our religiosity to the core. No wonder Africans pray a lot, but our prayers don't get anywhere. It remains in the air like a balloon. My dear beloved, listening to me, life is not complicated at all. Life is not stressful at all. Life is not. It's not confusing at all when you know the laws of being and obeys them. When you know the laws of being and obeys them, the law gives you power and dominion over your conditions and circumstances. And you have the ability to control all the events and incidents that happens in your life. So I throw the question back to people. What do they want? It's my responsibility to expose you to the truth. And that is what I've done. I don't have to force the truth on you at all. So whilst we have the freedom, the free will to choose our actions in life, we are held responsible by the law of cause and effect. Thought externalizes itself into experiences. Every thought we hold in our consciousness for a long time becomes impressed on the subconscious mind and creates a pattern which the mind weaves into our life and environment. That's it. So to attain mastery and have control over the law of cause and effect is to stay calm, centered, and peaceful all the time and not move to extreme positions of behavior. Mastery of our mental and emotional bodies must begin with first forgiving ourselves and others. Harboring old grievances and resentment is a sure way of creating negative energy to produce negative outcomes. Knowing how to heal wounds of the past is a positive way and moving into the light. Knowing how to heal the wounds of the past is in the positive way and moving into the light. And it's very important that you do that. It is by so doing that you can overcome the law of cause and effect. This is the most exciting time to be alive. This is the most exciting time to be alive if an individual understands all that is going on in our world. Be sincerely blessed and enlightened by the topic universal law of cause and effect, and realize everything happens in your life for a reason, but it is not by chance, like coincidence at all. The book of Proverbs says, in all our getting, let us get understanding. Time to leave the garden, my friend. Please think. God has given you a mind, and I want you to use that mind to think. Because of time, I can't read. It's almost an hour. I can't read the new consciousness. I can't read the new collective prayer. And it is our time for change. But by now, you know what I will say. So let's skip that and say, let's skip that and say, I am the co-founder of Eagle Mentality Group. At EMG, we dedicate ourselves for the teaching and propagation of the subconscious mind. We also believe in diversity, as diversity is the strength of a nation. We accept both the rich and the poor, the educated and uneducated, the downtrodden, the ordinary, the have-nots, the homeless, and everyone to create a new Africa based on the subconscious mind, universal laws and principles. This is Eagle Helen Mensah. I'm a child of God, a citizen of the universe, a way shower to my people, sons and daughters of Africa and humanity at large. I give love to humanity, and it comes back to me not only in million folds, but in billion folds. I wish you all that I wish for myself, and all the blessings in the universe, such as joy in your soul, perfect peace that passes understanding, good health, abundance, and much more. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you kindly.